So I'm Will Follett, and today we're going to be talking about the top 10 events, peoples, and factors in period 1. So I'm going to start off with events, counting down from 10 to 1. The first event was Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. They were located in the Indus River Valley and survived from 2500 to 1500 BC. Both had streets that were laid out in grid-like patterns. They had uniform weights and measures and architectural styles. They also had a language that has not yet been deciphered because of its complexity, and also the Harappan society was likely destroyed by the Aryans. Number 9. The Maya. The Maya were the heirs of the Olmecs in the Mesoamerican highlands, and they survived circa 300 BC to 900 BC. Not BC. Yeah. 300 BC to 900 CE. They used terrace farming to keep the land fertile to harvest crops. They did ritual sacrifices and participated in ritual bloodletting, which was basically stabbing yourself or cutting off tips of your fingers to let the blood flow. They also had a complex calendar, and historians don't really know the exact cause of their decline, but they have several theories. Number 8 is Sumeria. So Sumeria was a Mesopotamian city-state that survived from 3000 to 2000 BC. They developed cuneiform, which was a written language. They had the Epic of Gilgamesh. They practiced metallurgy, and they built ziggurats, which were basically large temples. So number 7 is Babylonia, and it survived from 1894 to 1595 BC in Mesopotamia, and Hammurabi, the leader of the Babylonian Empire, developed Hammurabi's Code, which was the law code, and also implicated Lex Talionis, or the law of retaliation, which was basically like the saying an eye for an eye. They also participated in trade, but what empire didn't? Number 6 is the Egyptian Old Kingdom. The Egyptian Old Kingdom survived from 2686 to 2134 BC in the Nile River Valley. They constructed pyramids as royal tombs for the pharaohs. They also had a centralized government and used public labor to construct stuff such as the pyramids. Number 5 is the Akkadian Empire. And the Akkadian Empire survived from 2334 to 2279 BC. It was located in Mesopotamia, and Sargon of Akkad was the ruler of this empire. It was a large empire, but was soon dismantled when rebellion struck. Number 4 is the Shang dynasty, and it survived in East Asia from 1766 to 1122 BC. They left a large amount of written records, and they monopolized bronze production. They claimed portions of surplus agricultural production from the regions that they controlled or took over, which they used to feed their large army and other things. They also had walled towns, much like that of the capital that they had at Ao or O. Third event was the Phoenicians, and the Phoenicians spoke a Semitic language and organized a series of independent city-states. They focused more on trade, and the trade was mainly maritime trade and they focused on trade more than military expansion. And after about 2500 BC, they turned mostly to industry and trade. And they also created an alphabet consisting of 22 letters. Number 2 is the Zhou dynasty. The Zhou dynasty succeeded the Shang dynasty because they organized their allies more effectively. They created the Mandate of Heaven, which was basically, they said the ruler was the link between heaven and earth. And if the ruler did something the heavenly powers thought was good or that they liked, he stayed in power. But if a ruler failed to do his duties, then the Mandate of Heaven would take over and transfer power to a more deserving individual. The Zhou also took over iron metallurgy, but it was a lot harder to monopolize. like uh, besides bronze, because iron was more abundant. Problems that faced the Zhao were the invasions of nomadic peoples. And the number one most important event is the Warring States period. The Warring States period was between 400 and 200 BC. It was basically many regional powers fighting for control, and it only ended when the Qin dynasty adopted the legalist doctrine and unified China.